Hello everyone, and welcome to another Thursday horror movie review with me, Angela of Morbid Heart Designs. Last week I talked about Gremlins from 1984, and I had a hard time deciding if I wanted to draw the Mogwai Gizmo or one of the Gremlin designs because I absolutely love these creatures from both of these movies. Well, more the first from the second, but we'll get into that in a minute. But I realized I didn't have to choose because there are two movies that I get to talk about. So here is my thoughts on Gremlins 2, which is from 1990. It has been some time between the two, and they did a really good job of talking about what's happened with the characters without actually spelling things out, in my opinion, about what's happened to give you an idea that some time has passed. Now, Gizmo, our main cuteness from last week's video that you saw colored, is back in the Chinese store where he was originally found. Things are going on, and a developer wants to come in and tear down that building to redevelop the area of New York where it's at. Gizmo ends up getting out of the shop before it is destroyed and is found by a gentleman who does questionable experiences with genetics. Lo and behold, this man works in the same building as our protagonist from the last movie. And Gizmo and him end up running into each other. I really like how they played out that part together. But given that there are the rules, do not fuck up things with the Mogwai. You know, don't get them wet, don't feed them after midnight. They don't like light, of course. Shit has to go wrong for us to have a sequel. Shit goes wrong. Gremlins start taking over this building, and it is about the adventure of the people in this building. Now, this movie is classified as a horror comedy. I honestly think it went straight for the comedy. I don't know if the first one was actually more intended to be more of an adult audience, but given the cuteness of Gizmo, it attracted, in my opinion, a lot of more of a child following, a younger fan base than they anticipated. So this movie, despite being a comedy horror, definitely falls more on the comedy side. I didn't find the first one to be scary. I found this one to be even less scary. Just as a side note, I do remember when I was younger there was a Bugs and Daffy cartoon opening to a movie, and I've never been able to remember what movie it is. If any of you out there have had that in your head and you're like, where was it? It is this movie. I was so excited for that to pop up and be like doing its thing, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is that movie. Doesn't matter to the whole review, but I enjoyed that part. So getting back to Gremlins 2, I mentioned earlier I was gonna get more into the designs of the Mogwai and the Gremlins in this. I don't know if there was a budget restraint compared to the first one, but I do feel a lot of the designs of the Gremlins and the Mogwai were severely lacking in this. Maybe it was they designed a lot more than they had before. Maybe they didn't have the budget. I don't know, but it just felt really lackluster compared to the original design and the original puppetry. This movie uses the same gags from the first movie and the same gags from this movie over and over and over, and I found it to be really annoying. I feel like this movie was only made because of the success of the first one, and they just wanted to grab for money. This movie's fucking ridiculous. It is so far from any horror elements, even though they've labeled it as a comedy horror. It's not even funny. Actually, that's funny. They tried way too hard for the comedy. Way too hard. Positive for this movie, I totally forgot that the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager was in this movie, so it was really fun to see him because Voyager is my favorite Star Trek series. I rate this movie very far opposite of the first movie. I rate this movie 2 out of 5. I can't give it a 1 because the puppetry, though it was very lacking, wasn't completely bad. There was a lot of creative thought that went into this, though not as executed as well as the first. And there was good acting. This movie was actually nominated for several acting awards, Best Feature, Director, Music, Special Effects. It didn't win anything, but it still had those nominations, so I can't give it a 1 because it wasn't fully terrible. But it's definitely not worth watching, in my opinion, again. I definitely feel the first one is a classic and will always be a classic. So there you have my thoughts on Gremlins 2. I also have all sorts of social medias and Twitch, so come hang out, follow all the stuff and the things. And from my dark heart to yours, have a wonderful day, and please don't die before my next video.